From the East and the West, you've heard others, but now you've tuned into the best. This is a Prime Wave Media production.
What's up, world? It's the one and only Pop DBIC, the Primetime Capper, and it is time for the premier sports betting show, the Primetime Angles Live, and I'm feeling good. I'm feeling great. It is Friday, and man, we have ourselves a pretty good weekend coming up when it comes to sports as well, too. I'm gonna be over in Carson tomorrow for the Showtime card with John Real Casimiro and Guillermo Rigondeaux fighting for the WBO bantamweight belt. So that should be a lot of fun tomorrow as well, too. And pretty much we have ourselves a boatload of baseball games as well. And Summer League is getting hot and heavy as they go into the tournament portion of it. So that should be good as well, too. So there's just a lot of things going on. It should be a lot of fun. And pretty much, it's another great sports weekend, and we got Talkin Tickets coming up in a bit. We got a big number for you today. Man, it got close yesterday. I was feeling good about it. We hit 4 out of 6 yesterday. The late comeback by the Yankees kind of messed us up, and the Rockies didn't show up. So, hey, it is what it is at the end of the day. All right, so let's go ahead and get to our first topic at hand. And I'm talking about, and it's going to be about Alabama. Will Alabama still be dominant with a true freshman quarterback? A lot of people are, Alabama's a machine, but, Alabama does always have a moment where where they'll lose a game or two, because things have caught up with them a little bit. You got Bryce Young here, who's going to be their starting quarterback. And pretty much that's Nick Saban still has his doubts a little bit about this situation as well, too. And I said he was a freshman. He's actually a sophomore as well. And the kid is actually from my hometown. He played for Mater Dei, though. He was born in Pasadena, but he played for Mater Dei, and Mater Dei is one of the better high schools in the nation. That's out in Orange County, out in Santa Ana. So, he has he knows what pressure looks like and things of that nature. But it's a brand new college football season, and you can't get mad if the freshman doesn't show up the way that he's supposed to show up. But all in all, this is how you pretty much make your stake at Alabama, by being great early. So then you can go ahead and warrant yourself a draft position as well, too, later on down the road. But is there any team in the SEC that could actually upset Alabama next year? That's the biggest question of them all, because we know Alabama's going to play their opening game against a tough team, a team out of a non-conference team. And pretty much it'll be the classic game, and everybody had their sharpness out, thinking that Alabama will probably get, maybe get beat or maybe not cover, but it always winds up being Alabama's, it just winds up always being in Alabama's favor. And when you look at it, they start the season off with the Miami Hurricanes. The Miami Hurricanes somewhat had a resurgence last year, but they're switching quarterbacks. Things are changing there in Miami as well, too. So we'll see how it goes, man. Good matchup, though. Very good matchup there with those two teams. So Miami, Alabama, first week of the season. We'll see how everything works out. But Bryce Wilson looks like he's really into being that guy for this team. So we'll see how it goes. Number one team in the nation. Will they be fit? Will they be able to push the envelope and get themselves another undefeated season, or will they be upended and still, Alabama's always going to get shown love, so it is what it is at the end of the day. All right, so we move on, and we have ourselves up next. We have ourselves a really good one here. We have Oklahoma, and their preseason is their preseason ranking too high at number 3? I really do think so. I think that this team, under the quarterback that they have right now, they're not going to be as good as advertised. The guy gets a little nervous, in my opinion. I think that he's not really a good pressure quarterback, and he's another one of these guys that was on QB1, the series that's on Netflix, that kind of gives you the idea that quarterbacks, that these new quarterbacks are that, you got this pristine quarterback coming in who's coming from the high school level, and he's supposed to be really, 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 really good. But some of these guys haven't even made it to being a starting quarterback. But these guys, they have all what it takes to be, primetime players. And this kid was from Arizona, so, he had a little bit of a chip on his shoulder, and, he played for a school that was fairly new as well, too. And then he got into some trouble off the field as well. So, he was already set up to go to Oklahoma. I think that is still some learning lessons that he has to go through to be successful with this team, with this unit. And I think, once again, Oklahoma, it's an overstretch with Oklahoma once again this year. Oklahoma was a top 5 team to start off the season last year. They got absolutely smoked by the time we got to week 2 and 3. You know what I mean? And they just, to me, they got to get some defense going as well, too. But they really got to understand that Oklahoma should not be ranked this high. But I do understand, because Oklahoma, it's all about who they recruit and who they're bringing in. And you know what? This is pretty good for their head coach, Lincoln Riley, because the thing is, it shows that he's been able to keep having top 10 teams to start the season off every single year. And pretty much, once again, this year is another, come on, Sooners, prove yourself to us. So we'll see how they do. We'll see how it shakes out. We'll see how it goes. But let's go ahead and talk about the professional game real quick. And we're going to get into our NFL preview for today. And it's going to be the New Orleans Saints. The New Orleans Saints coming in here with Drew Brees retired now. And they got Jameis Winston as their starting quarterback as well, too. And then they also got Taysom Hill on standby, who does make more money than who makes very good money for a backup quarterback. So I really don't think that the job is all the way belongs to Jameis Winston. We just want to believe that it does. You know what I mean? So with that, sorry about that. So what I see with this Saints team is a team that's going to be very, very different from the Saints team that we've come to know over the years. So, sorry about that. Doing 30 things at once. So, pretty much what I'm looking at right now is we can put ourselves in position to look at a team and see that they're in a rebuilding situation this year. And I think that's going to be the end-all, be-all for the Saints this year as well, too. And I think when you look at it, Sean Payton's probably going to have his most challenging situation ever with this team. And I think this will be good for the Saints moving forward as they figure out where they need to improve at in the coming years. So, I think you can possibly say that they're not going to be a playoff team this year. I think that maybe Tampa Bay might run away with the division this year. Maybe, maybe not, but I still have Atlanta stepping it up this year as well, too. So you guys know how I feel about them, and I think that they can step it up this year because they've relieved some weight off the salary cap and everything like that, and they brought in a new toy as well, too. So the Saints are going through, their first time without Drew Brees in the last 15 years. Okay. So this is new. This is brand new. Drew Brees isn't coming off of an injury. He's not coming back down at the end of the road. None of that. So they really do have to go ahead and figure out life without the great Drew Brees, who will be in the Hall of Fame soon. So, the Saints are a big question mark. They can be really, really good this year, or they can be a team that's really, really bad this year. So we'll see exactly what happens. But all in all, this should be a very, very intriguing year for a team that does have a quarterback in place that can, win at the position as well, too. And he might be in the best possible place for him to do everything that he envisioned when he was a college superstar as well, too. So we'll see how Jameis Winston, reacts. But once again, you guys have to be on the lookout that possibly the Taysom Hill will be the starter for this team as well, too. So with that, we will be right back. This is the Premier Sports Betting Show, the Primetime Angles Live with the one and only Pop DiBiase, the Primetime Kappa, and I'll be right back at you.
The Vigit app, where social media meets sports betting. Get the latest line movements in all major sports. Track your daily bets, daily contests, the NFL over-under contest that pays out $10K in cash prizes. This is a cutting-edge app that helps betting be easy. Sign up with the reference code POPDBIC and you will be able to watch my daily show, The Primetime Angles, as a resource to building that bankroll. Vigit is available in your Apple or Google Store on your iOS or Android. The social sports betting app, Vigit.
From the East and the West, you've heard others, but now you've tuned into the best. This is a Prime Wave Media production.
All right. So yesterday, the Dodgers found themselves winning 2-1 yesterday, and pretty much don't just ignore what's at the bottom. It hasn't been changed, but pretty much the Dodgers finish up 2-1, and their record, it should say 68-46, but it's all good. The Dodgers did get themselves a good win, though. A good start to the world They got a good start to their road trip back east. They go to Queens tonight to go against the Mets. Julio Urias is actually the pitcher tonight, and he's going to be going against Tyler McGill. So this is going to be a pretty good game between two young pitchers. But then, Urias is one of the best pitchers in the National League, 144 strikeouts, over 28 walks. This is damn good. Tyler McGill has been really, really decent. He's not been that good in his last 2 starts, and that's something that the Dodgers can take advantage of because he's given up 9 runs in those last 2 starts, over 9.2 innings, and he's also given up 11 hits as well, too. And he struck out 9, but still, this is not good for a guy that started off, and the most runs he had gave up in the beginning were 3. So, things have changed a little bit for him. Now teams are starting to get a little comfortable with what he's throwing, and maybe he might need to switch it up just a little bit because that's how it pretty much goes in the MLB. But the Mets definitely do need some wins here because they were the number 1 team, and they were the leader in the clubhouse for over 2.5, 3 months in the NL East, and now they find themselves a half game back from Philadelphia, who swept them out last weekend. So it made it to where it was kind of tough. But then you got Atlanta still breathing, still has life. Atlanta is a game back, and Atlanta, to me, could possibly be the winner of this division because the way that they stack up in September is that, and the way that they're going about things, they should be good to go in that month as well, too. So we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it shakes out. The NL East is becoming a very exciting race. The Dodgers want to be somewhat of a spoiler here. So, they're trying to get another series win out of this. They don't have to necessarily sweep the Mets, but they need to get themselves in position to go ahead and, win this series and keep themselves right there on the hip of the Giants, who are now 5 games ahead. And, it's getting a little ugly now for the Dodgers. And, the Dodgers really, we kept feeling like the Dodgers were going to make a monster move, but that move is not happening as of yet. So we'll see how it goes. The Dodgers don't have many more games with the Giants either, so that's what gets everybody's panties in a bunch a little bit. But they got the games with the Giants at when the games actually mean something, when it's early September and everything like that. And I think when it comes down to it, the Dodgers' final 9 games will be the difference between them finishing first place and being a wild card team next year. And pretty much when you look at their month coming up, they got some pretty tough games. But all in all, though, in the next coming series, they have Pittsburgh back at home Monday after they get done with this Mets series. But the Mets come in for a 4-game stretch next weekend in Los Angeles, the weekend after in Los Angeles. I'm very sorry about that. But, next weekend in Los Angeles. I'm sorry. Yeah, that's where would it be. And then they'll have some games against the Rockies and the Padres, and then they end the month with the few games against the Braves. And, the Dodgers are in position 69-46, but they got to catch the very, very elusive Giants, who just keep figuring out ways to win games. All right, so let's move on to our next topic at hand. It's going to be the first game of the MLB Friday preview. And in the MLB Friday preview, we have ourselves a really good one here. Well, it's not that great of a game, but you still have a good spot here with the Pirates and it's not the Pirates and the Cardinals. It's actually the Pirates and the Brewers. And pretty much the Brewers coming to this game very, very good. The Brewers have the second best record in all of baseball, 70 wins on the season. Brett Anderson's having a decent year going against Mitch Keller, who's been struggling. So we'll see how this one goes. We'll see how it shakes out, but this game should be a good one. And I'm very sorry for that mistake that I made because, it kind of fouls things up a little bit. We have error. Let me go ahead and let me get it all the way right. It's Reds and Phillies. I was sitting on the other screen, so sorry, so sorry about that. And we did have the Dodgers correct as well, 269-46. And as you guys can see there, I was on another image that I should have deleted already. But all in all, we got the Reds and the Phillies. This is a good one tonight. You got a Phillies team that is in place to. If we were to end the season right now, they would be the winners of the East, but they're in a tough spot. They're a half a game up, as I said, prior to the Mets, who have the Dodgers this weekend. Then the Braves send the game back. And as I said before, the Braves, I feel like they're that team that's laying on the outside on the stretch drive, ready to go ahead and pounce and make that monster move to go ahead and make the playoffs, because this team was in the championship series last year. And, a lot of people had the Braves out of it after their best player got hurt in the game and his season ended. But people have to once again understand baseball is not based on one player. So, the Braves see that as motivation, and that's why they're in position right now to possibly steal the East here here at the end of the year. But this is a great three-way race for a pennant, and it's exciting. And then you got the Reds, who got a good win yesterday. Once again, this team is slowly creeping up on the Padres, who thought they had a comfortable lead. They would be the wild card team, blase, blase, blase. But, the Reds had came off of a 5-game winning streak and then lost 3 in a row, then come back yesterday and win the game 12-3. This team that's some pretty good stuff right there. Tyler Mahle is going to be on the mound today as the dog pitcher. 148 strikeouts over 45 walks, 3.78 ERA, going against Zach Wheeler, who's been a much better pitcher this year than he was in his New York days with the rival Phillies. But all in all, though, 10-6 on the year, 2.42 ERA. I think that possibly with the week that the Phillies have had hitting-wise, they haven't been scoring a lot of runs as well, too. I think that possibly this could be a good Reds spot for you. But we'll see how it goes, see how it shakes out. But I do like the Reds today with the plus 145 money line. I think that's some good money. It's trickled down to plus 135. It'll probably go down to 125 by the time we get to the first pitch. But I like the Reds today to get another win after getting a big win yesterday against the Braves. All right, so we have our next game, division rivalry game between the soon-to-be Guardians, the Indians, going against the Tigers. And you got a Tigers team that is having a pretty good week because they got to play the Orioles. So now they lock it up against the Indians, who are coming off a very embarrassing loss, losing 17-0 yesterday against the A's. Yeah, Zach Pleasant going to mound, going against Tyler Alexander. So you got two pitchers that are pretty much the same pitcher. Both guys have winning records as well. So this should be a game of some wits here. But, these are two teams that aren't the greatest hitting teams in the world. But, they try. They try. But I think today we'll go ahead and get ourselves a nice little over because the Indians are going to be very aggressive. I already know that. Most likely they went to the batting cages pretty early today to make sure that they get things, get things worked out and everything like that. But I think that the over could be a strong play in this spot. I know both pitchers have a tendency of, being able to keep things under. But I think today that the hitters are going to hit. It's a moody Friday. I know it's going to be some humid weather out there in Detroit as well today too. So we'll see how it goes, see how it shakes out. We move forward to our next game, the Battle of Missouri. You have Kansas City going against the Cardinals. Cardinals, very, 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 very good team. But they're going through it right now. They're sitting here at 500, but they're in a division where Milwaukee has said, you know what, we're going to just go ahead and take this thing by the horns, and we'll see y'all later. And, it happens. But the Cardinals looking to go ahead and keep getting some good wins over this Kansas City team that they beat up on last week. So this game should be fun to bet because I think what happens here is that you have a Royals team that should keep it close because they're at home and they had an interesting week against the Yankees as well too. So what I'll do here is I'll take the plus 1.5, the Cardinals and the Royals. This should be a good game. I'm going with the home team here on the spread. I'm not saying that they win, but I will take them with the plus 1.5, and we'll see how it goes and see if we can go ahead and get that ticket cast. All right. And we move on to our next spot, which is going to be another divisional rivalry game. It's going to be the Astros and the Angels. The Astros coming into this one very, very, very confident because they've had the Angels number this year. Angels got a good upset win last night against the Blue Jays, who they wound up beating 6-3, and pretty much Shotani was actually the dog last night. And Shotani was able to look pretty good, but there were some errors, Vlad Jr. kind of showing his fielding woes, because I think I've seen him drop about 10 pop flies that wound up being some pretty messed up situations for the Blue Jays, because they yielded runs or they yielded innings to continue that led to runs. So that's something that's going to have to be worked on by Vlad Jr., I think. But since he's in the American League, he can always alternate and be a DH as well too. But the first base position has been good to him, but it's been a curse to him as well too. So we'll see how it goes. But that's not our focus here. Our focus is what's gonna happen here in this Houston, and what's gonna happen in this Astros and Angels game. I think what happens here is that Zach Greinke pitches an absolute gem tonight, and I think what happens is that, and what else occurs is that the Astros keep up their great run against this Angels team. So that's what I'm going to do here. I think that they're going to be good enough to win this game by 2 or more runs. You got Zach Greinke, who's 10-3 on the year, 3.69 ERA, and he's 100 strikeouts over 29 walks. Now, Pat Sandoval is no slouch. Even though he has a losing record, he's still a really good pitcher, and he's had really good games the last 3 times out, including a 13 strikeout performance on July 24th against the Twins. And then he pitched well against the Dodgers as well too. So, this pitcher can do it many ways. He can be a spot starter for you. He can be a guy who can come in mid-innings, because he has a save on the year as well too. So pretty much this team right here, they should be in place to give the Astros a real game, but I still think the Astros will be just too much for them tonight, and that's why I'm taking the -1.5 on the Astros tonight. So there it is with that. We move forward with our next game, another divisional game. It's going to be between the West leading Giants, who I just got done talking about, and they're going to be a big, big favorite tonight going against the Rockies, who they blew away last night. And the Rockies have been playing some pretty consistent baseball. They'll win a few, then they lose a few. But they've been a much better home team than they have been a road team lately as well, too. And then they got one of their better pitchers on the mound in Gomber tonight, who has 98 strikeouts over 28 walks. And then you have Descafini, who's having a career year this year, 10-5, 118 strikeouts over 33 walks. And both these teams are top 10 hitting teams as well, too. So that gives the Rockies a shot here, but I'm not going to get fooled by these guys either. I think what happens here is that while I'm mentioning these guys are able to hit hit a lot, you have the Giants, who are the number 1 home run hitting team in the league. And then you got the Rockies, who are actually number 8 in batting average. So I think to myself that this could possibly wind up being a pretty long game, because once you get a lot of runs in the game, games get longer. If you have a game where there's a lot of strikeouts and things of that nature, that game's usually really short. But this game is going to be long, because they're going to be getting a lot of hits and they're going to be scoring a lot of runs. So that's why I'm taking the over 8 here, and we'll go from there. And then we finish up with the nightcap in Seattle. You got the Blue Jays, who just came off that splitting with the Angels. They're going up to Seattle, where they've been okay against Seattle, but last time they saw Seattle dominated. But once again, you got a Blue Jays team that's number 2 in batting average, number 4 in runs, number 2 in home runs, number 1 in slugging percentage, and pretty much just killing it hitting wise this year as well. And then, their pitching has been really good too, but there's still many games behind the Rays, the Red Sox, and the Yankees. So this is just, it's tough. It's just exactly where you're at when it comes to your divisions and things of that nature. So you got the Rockies, you got You got I'm still on that game. And you got the Blue Jays coming in minus 180. Mariners are plus 150 tonight. So, this one right here could be a game where a lot of people get a little confused on really what to do here. And I think what you do here is you give yourself a chance to win something with the Mariners tonight. I think the Mariners are going to be good money tonight. I think that the Blue Jays are running into a point of the season where things are slowing down a little bit for them because they just got back to Canada full time, playing home games and things like that. Now they're back on the road somewhere that has not been good to them, but it's good to be back at home because now you're complete again. But all in all, though, it's like so late in the season for this to happen. And I think that you got a Mariners team that, once again, they're not going to make the playoffs this year, but they want to keep building on what they have already. So then maybe they can be an attractive landing spot when it comes to the offseason, when it comes to picking up free agents. So this should be a good game tonight. I think that, the Mariners can be your dog of the day. They're my dog of the day. So let's see how it goes. Let's see how it shakes out. But I like it. I like it a lot. So with that, let's go ahead and jump into Talkin Tickets. And then Talkin Tickets tonight, as I just ran down for you, as I previewed the games, we're going with the Reds plus 145 tonight. Then we have the over 9.5 with the Indians and the Tigers, the plus 1.5 with the Royals, the minus 1.5 with the Astros, the over 8 with the Giants and the Rockies, and the Mariners money line plus 150 as our dog of the day at home. So that's going to be our PrimeTime PK6 ticket. That's going to be 84-1. And those Talkin Tickets, they do be talking. And hopefully this will be a good start to your weekend if this one does cash. But if you think that, pretty much you like one of these bets a little bit more than just playing the ticket, the parlay, then go ahead and single what you like. All right. So thank you. With that, that's a wrap on the week, and I thank you guys very much for tuning in, who did tune in. And pretty much we will have the horsing around returning this weekend as well too. We've got some great races over at Del Mar as well, and as I said before, make sure you guys catch the fight Saturday on Showtime with Casimiro on Rigondeaux. That's where I'm going to be at for my weekend activities and everything like that. It should be a lot of fun. Had a good time at the presser yesterday as well, too, and was able to have a great interview with Gary Antonio Russell. So you guys be on the lookout for that one as well, too, via Ring Magazine and Fanatics View. So there it is. There it is. As I always say, bet with your head, not with your heart. If you got a hunch, bet a bunch. And once again, the movement is moving, and we got big things coming, and we're just mere weeks away from the NFL Bet Exchange. As everybody's so excited about preseason, I'm excited to get our NFL show started back as well too. So you guys, you're the absolute best. I'll be back to you Monday to go ahead and have some more angles for you. We'll have Jeff here with this as well too. So it should be a lot of fun, and we'll be reviewing the New York Giants Monday as well too, seeing where they stand and seeing if they'll be able to make any moves themselves this year. So with that, I thank you guys once again very much. You guys enjoy your weekend, and I'll be back to you on Monday, and I am gone.
From the East and the West, you've heard others, but now you've tuned into the best. This is a Prime Wave Media production.